Hey y'all, it's your girl Love Meesh, and we are here with another episode of the Love Meesh podcast. So as promised, I am coming back today to talk to you guys about altar. And I've never had an altar before, as spiritual as I've been my whole life. But I have been reading the book Sacred Woman, A Guide to Healing the Feminine Body, Mind, and Spirit by Queen Afua. That's Queen Afua. I may be saying that wrong. If so, I apologize. I am on day 2 of a 21-day fast. And this book has come across my journey 3 times now. I get things in threes. So I was like, okay, it's really time to finish it and do it. I think I skimmed through it. It's time to literally read it and get through it. But if you are a female, I think this is one of the must-haves for your library. Speaking of, growing up, my family had an encyclopedia collection. I think we went through 2 different versions. And now they don't even have those anymore. Like, people rarely read. We would go to the library all the time. We would have field trips to the library. Like, are the libraries dying? Are books dying? And I don't think they are, because I have an Instagram page, l.m.publishing, because I'm going to start writing poetry and books. And I actually have more followers on that than any of my other Instagram pages. So it just seems to be like, I don't know. Do people really read anymore? And I know we have audio. No shade, because I am reading The Game of Life. And I'm definitely reading audio. It's free. And I definitely want to get those books in my collection. But to be able to still read the book and somebody spent their hard time recording it in different voices for me is such a blessing. So I digress. Back to the altar. So I wanted to start out by, I am a college graduate, so of course I'm used to researching. So let's just start out with what is an altar. So this is from Wikipedia. No shade. I love my Wikipedia. I don't care what people say about it. But Wikipedia, if you search altar, it says an altar is a structure upon which offerings such as sacrifices are made for religious purposes. Altars are found at shrines, temples, churches, and other places of worship. They are used particularly in Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Shinto, Taoism, Judaism, used such as structures until the destruction of the Second Temple. Many historical faiths also made use of them, including Roman, Greek, and Norse religion. And then my second source is gotquestions.org. What is an altar? So the question is, what is an altar? And the answer is, an altar is any structure upon which offerings such as sacrifices are made for religious purposes. It was usually a raised platform with a flat surface. There are over 400 references to altars in the Bible. The word altar is first used in Genesis 8:20 when Noah built an altar to the Lord after leaving the ark. However, the idea was present as early as Genesis 4, verses 3 through 4, when Cain and Abel brought their sacrifices to the Lord. They most likely presented their offerings on some type of altar, even though the word altar is not used in that passage. An altar always represents a place of consecration. Before God gave his laws to Moses, men made altars whenever they were out of whatever materials were available. And an altar was often built to commemorate an encounter with God that had a profound impact upon someone. Sometimes God himself commanded that an altar be built after he had delivered someone in a miraculous way. God gave instructions for the tabernacle. He also gave detailed instructions for the kind of altar the courtyard should contain. On this altar, the people made sacrifices that God accepted as atonement for their sin. In the broadest sense, an altar is merely a designated place where a person consecrates himself to someone or something. Many church buildings have altars for prayer, communion, weddings, and other sacred purposes. Some Christians create their own altars for personal worship as visual reminders. Romans 12, verse 1, which says to present yourself as a living sacrifice. In conclusion, every human heart has an invisible altar where the war between the flesh and the spirit rages. When we surrender areas of our lives to the control of the Holy Spirit, we are in effect laying that area on the altar before God. It can help to visualize Abraham's altar where he offered his son Isaac to the Lord. We can ask the Lord what areas of our lives he is requiring that we offer to him. We can symbolically lay that on the altar and let go. We don't need a flat top surface. We can surrender our lives to God on the altar of our hearts at any time. Okay, now I am getting out of the religion box. I think there's a lie in every truth and a truth in every lie. So I am open to a lot of them. I'm still researching them. And whatever resonates with me, I hold it dear to my heart and keep it moving. So Afua, in her book, she is more likely into the Egyptian religion, and she refers to Nta, the supreme God. So although that was kind of more on the Christian side, I just wanted you to know that this book referenced the Egyptian religion. I myself have so many names. My father, of course, will never call me anything else other than what he named me, which is Jamisha. My grandmother named me Toot, so my family and close friends will say Toot. My friends dubbed me Meesh, so instead of saying Jamisha, they would just say Meesh. And now I'm a auntie of 10, and my first niece dubbed me as Auntie Boo. So it was the cartoon Monsters Inc. I would always come up to her and be like, "Hey, Boo," and she was like, "No, you're Boo." So we would go back and forth, just laughing and giggling, and then it turned into Auntie Boo. So now all the little babies, including God babies, little cousins, the little people call me Auntie Boo. And then at work, I had a Spanish manager, and she didn't say my full name, which is a J and a J, so she would just say JJ. So at work, people call me JJ. Now, do I say, that ain't my name, my daddy called me this, or my grandma called me this? No, because I know all of those names refer to me. And if you really want to be honest, I have so many different personalities. I'm grumpy when I wake up. I feel this type of way when I'm hungry. I feel that type of way, when I want some love, affection, and attention. It's just so many different versions of me. I can definitely understand how you can have different names. So at the end of the day, the supreme God creator is probably looking at all of us like, you like simpletons. How simple can you be? There's only one person that created all of y'all, and that's me. So whatever name you use, I don't think it's disrespectful if you're saying it from, your purest heart in a good way. Because hell, we don't know. There's a lie in every truth and a truth in every lie. So if you are basically trying to say the one that created all, and there's so many different ways to say that, okay, why do we get into this whole religion battle anyway? But again, I digress. This is about altars. Bring it in, girl. Bring it in. Okay. So she explains how to do the altar, and I'm actually reading this from her book. What page is this? This is page 564, and I'm on a Kindle, and I don't know if it's that many pages, but okay. This is from I'm sorry. Chapter 2, Gateway 0, the Sacred Womb. So it says, creating your sacred altar. Your altar should be placed in a room undisturbed by the public. A private prayer area is a best place where you, your family, and friends can go pray. This is the designated area where you will commune with the Creator, receive spiritual, mental, and emotional comfort, and gain inner guidance through visions from your greater upliftment. If you don't have such a room, then set your altar in a quiet area of your sacred home. One day, not too long from now, you will look around your entire home and realize with joy that every room is like an altar, empowered with your sacred touch and loving energy from the indwelling sacred spirit. In your chosen meditation area, place the table for your altar. And then she gives like a picture with what should be on your altar. And I'm so excited because I completed my altar. And I'm going to be honest with you. Some things I did not have. I mean, tomorrow is payday, okay? And I had plenty of time to prepare, but my mind always is everywhere. So one of the things was like a feather. I had not found a feather on the ground. I don't have a feather in the house or the hat, shirt, nothing. So you know what I did? I printed out a feather. I printed out the most beautiful feather that resonated with me, and I put that on my altar. Because again, this comes from your heart. Now, if I take care of everything else I need to take care of, and I could go get me a feather, I will replace that. But I don't think we should try to be too detailed with materialism. I think it really comes from your heart, from your purest heart. So just keep that in mind. So at the top of your altar, you're supposed to put pictures. So there are 5 spaces. The first one is a divine image of a spiritual guardian. So what I did was I printed out a picture of a guardian angel. And it's a quote. It says, "I believe in guardian angels." So that's what I have on mine. And then the second one says a picture of an ancestor. So in my family, which is very small, so we don't even really know everybody. But on my father's side, my grandmother, I have a picture of her. And then on my mother's side, my grandmother is still here, but her mother, I have a picture of her. And then we have one family member that has passed away. So I put her here as a guardian, as well. And that will be my auntie. So I call those my ancestors because they're no longer here. The next one is a picture of Sacred Self. And she was very specific about how she wanted that picture to be. So it had to be wood, glass, and it was one more thing, but I guess of nature. And I had like a glass picture that was just sitting on my my bookshelf broke, but I stacked all my books up, so it was sitting on top of my books. It would have been my bookshelf. But anyways, it's really beautiful. I forgot where I got this from. Probably my mom. It's like so many roses on here, and it's purple. And I can't even believe somebody sat down and did all of these roses. And it's tiny. It can fit in your hand. And remember in high school where you would do your graduation pictures? Well, that was the first time my mom let me get a sew-in. She let me wear her pearls. I remember we went to JCPenney's and got the most beautiful dress. So this was like me coming into womanhood, about to leave high school into the world. And I really, really, that was like a wonderful memory for me. I graduated, yes, I'm grown now. So I put that picture up there as, my sacred self. And then it says picture of an elder. So I have a picture of me and my grandmother because she's still here. I didn't want to put her on ancestor because she is still very much alive. And I remember I had moved to North Carolina and I came back from my mom's graduation. And I think I missed the graduation, unfortunately. It was such a long drive. And I probably should have just took off and came early. You can't make up memories like that. So sorry, Mom, but I came back and we were doing the after party. And I was able to take pictures of everybody at the house. And I had this beautiful picture of me and my grandmother. I had a flower in my head. This is the first time I went natural. I'm going natural again, y'all. And it's just so beautiful. My grandmother was smiling. And this was before a lot of things happened in her life. And she was just so much more happy. So I'm glad I was able to capture that picture. Okay. And the last one is a picture of a contemporary. And basically that's like a sacred symbol. You could use a cross. I did an ankh and I found again, I don't have an ankh. So I found a picture. Google is amazing. And I found a necklace. It was a picture of a necklace ankh, which is basically a cross, but instead of it just being two lines, it looks like a little head. It's like a head at the top and then the rest of the cross. So I have a picture of that with a quote that says, "Goddess, make a wish and put on your necklace. Ancient Egyptians created the ankh to symbolize vivacious, loving energy and life. Wear your necklace as a reminder that you are a modern day goddess, beautiful, powerful, and divine. So I have that on my altar. And then she says a baptism bowl, which is basically a sacred bowl of water. I drink distilled water, so I put distilled water in my bowl. And I didn't put a lot. You're supposed to change it every day. I just put a little bit. And then a feather. Okay, so the bowl is supposed to represent what, we have our elements: air, water, earth, and fire. So I also printed out the symbols for air, water, earth, and fire. And it's also another one. I saw another symbol for spirit. So I printed that one out too. And I have them. My friend gave me like this glass, 4 level glass shelf. And this is what I have my altar on. So each level represents one of the elements. So the top one for me is air. The next one is water. The next one is earth. And the last one is fire. So yeah, I have my bowl of water, purified distilled water. And I put 7 drops. And she kind of explains it to you. But 7 drops of frankincense in there. Yes, I do have essential oils. Time to re-up. And then the feather would be for air. Remember, I printed that out. And then, speaking of the anointing oil and frankincense, I have that up there, my little bottle. An ankh that represents eternal life or another sacred symbol for spirit. Oh my God, I just saw that. So yeah, for spirit. And then it says a white or blue candle. Now, I have these candles from, I need to go get some more candles. But I have these old candles from Bath and Body Works. They still smell so good, but their candles don't burn to the bottom. And they have love on it. And I just love everything about love, and they're pink. So I threw some of them away, but I kept these 2. And although they are white candles, although I cannot burn it, I have a Himalayan salt lamp that I keep on all the time. So I'm going to use that as my fire until I get some replacements this weekend to keep them burning. Okay, so those are my candles for fire. And then it says flower or plant for earth. Now, my spiritual advisor, Miss Sharita, was kind enough to give me a rosemary. I had an aloe plant, but she died. I think I was too rough when I repotted her. So this is my second baby. And we are going to try this thing again. I only have to water her every 2 days. I try to put her in sunlight, moonlight, and try to pay more attention to her. And my sister was joking with me. She was like, if you can't take care of a plant. I was like, I know. Because I had a pet at one point, and I gave him away. So no for the pets. If I can't get these plants down pat, what am I going to do with a whole child? So, okay, so that's that. And then the last one is your sacred stone. So, of course, I have my collection of crystals, and I just put them all up there when I do my meditation. But I do take them off because I travel with them. They are in my purse. They are on my body. They are with me at all times. These are my protection stones, but I do put them up there so that they can charge with the salt lamp and be present when I do my meditation. Okay, so that's that. That's just like a picture of it. So then she kind of explains what to do for the meditation. So I'll explain that. So this is like a 21-day process, and we have to wake up between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. I know, honey, y'all tell me about it. And if I didn't have to go to work at 12, I don't know what I would do. So kudos to my sisters and friends and other sisters on the journey with me, because they have children that they have to get ready for school and stuff. So I can only imagine how tired they are. But you start with a spiritual bath. And what she wants you to do is like light a candle, have some soft playing music in the background, which is what you guys normally hear on my recordings. So you could just go to YouTube and type in healing hertz and all these different types of hertz, sound bells, chimes, chants, all type of spiritual things will come up. So whatever resonates with you, you can have that playing in the background. And she says, bless your water and use a bath to release the negative energy and everything that blocks free movement of light, love, healing, and peace through your sacred womb and body temple. Again, she says, use the essential oil frankincense with your bath water and anoint your crown. So that is the bath. After the bath, then you use the essential oil and you anoint your crown, your third eye, your heart, and your womb. And again, you have the music still going. And then you say a prayer. She lists a prayer, but of course you can say your own. But her prayer is Sacred and Divine Nut, Spiritual Garden of the Gateway of the Sacred Womb. Please accept my deepest gratitude for your healing presence on my altar and in my life. Thank you for your guidance and inspiration and for your love and blessings. And please accept my love and blessings in return. And then the next thing you do is with that bowl of water, you put a few drops of the frankincense in there. And it was 7. And you sprinkle it around your area. So I dip my fingers in it and then I just sprinkle it. And I remember my grandmother. And you know what's so funny? Like, a lot of Christian things that I saw growing up is very similar. So who's not to say it's just the same thing, just different cultures and different civilizations? Like, I will never argue over religion again. At the end of the day, it's your heart, and there's only one thing that created us. So who else would you be praying to? So I just will not ever waste my energy on that again. You do you, I'll do me, and hey, it is what it is. It's your journey. I'll never take your choice away, and you most definitely won't take mine. But you just dip your fingers in it and sprinkle it around the altar. And I have my yoga mat down here, so I just sprinkle it around the yoga mat. So that's that. And then you're supposed to give adoration. So when you sprinkle it, the first one is, I pour this liberation and praise and adoration of the Sacred Mother, Guardian of the Gateway Zero, to Nut, the Great Cosmic Mother. That's the first one. The second one is, I pour this liberation and praise and adorations of the ancestors of your gateway. So whatever pictures you put up of your ancestors, you say their names. And the next one is, I pour this liberation and praise and adoration of the elders of Gateway Zero. Again, those pictures that you put up, you name your elders. I pour this liberation and praise and adoration of my divine self and my divine contemporaries. So that was the picture that you put up of yourself. So for me, and then I list the sisters that are on this journey with me and different people that come to my mind that have helped me on this spiritual journey, past or present. Because in the past, I heard a lot of things that just wasn't there, but the seed stayed. Like, I vividly remember the memory as if I'm looking at an Instagram post. Like, it's that vivid in my mind. So I do send praise for those. And then the next thing is ring a bell. Now, let me tell y'all, again, I don't have a lot of this stuff. So you're supposed to make tea. And God is so good. I had actually 23 packets of tea. So I drank. And I left the last 21 so that I can take these on this fast. Now, you're supposed to make herbal. And she gives like different recipes. But again, it's your heart, your intention. These are herbal teas that I got from Dollar Tree. That's the plug, y'all. And they're really good, and I just add cinnamon, turmeric, and a little bit of agave syrup just to give it a little bit of flavor, because tea, you got to get used to tea. But it is hot tea, so I steam my kettle. Once that sounds, I pour my cup, I stir it, I sit it down, and then by the time I do everything else and get here, it's cooled down a bit, and I just take the spoon and tap it, and it's like, now don't that sound like a bell? Okay, so I use that as a bell. So you do that first, and then she has another prayer. Sacred Spirit, NTR, hold me near, close to your bosom. Protect me from all harm and fear, from the blows of life. Direct my steps in the right way as I journey through this vision. Sacred Spirit, surround me in your absolutely perfect light. Anoint me in your sacred purity, peace, and divine insight. Bless me, truly bless me as I share this sacred life. Teach me, Sacred Spirit, to be in tune with the universe. Teach me how to heal with the inner and outer elements of air, fire, water, and earth. So she wants you to do the bell again. So another prayer is coming up. So and then I do the other prayer, and it says, Divine Mother, give me the power to heal my womb. Bless the wombs of all your daughters and assist us in healing of our wombs. Restore our faith that we may grow in strength and power and acknowledge as we recapture the purity and sacredness of our womb. May the wombs in all women be born again to the eternal heights as womb healing and wellness spread over each and every land. It's a beautiful, beautiful prayer. And then you do a chant. I don't know how to say the words. I'm not even going to say it, but you just say it as best as you can. And it means I am a sacred woman. And you say that 4 times. I am a sacred woman. 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 Affirmations are very important. I know some people may laugh at people with their affirmations and different things, but you are what you repeat. I grew up in church. I heard those same verses over and over again. Now I can't even tell you the last time I went to church, but as soon as I hear a scripture, who beginning and finishing it? Me. Because you have programmed that into your system, into your spirit, into your heart, into your reality. And you think it's not going to manifest? Now, I remember my grandmother was really good with this. Before I got my first car, and I was like, man, Grandma, everybody got a car. I either got to walk or wait on them. They're making me late for work. I dare not catch the bus. I'm so bad. If you know me, I'm so bad with directions. Ain't no telling where I would have ended up. And I remember me and my best friend rode the bus one day. I think we was trying to get to Regency. We ended up way on the Navy base. And that's on the whole other side of town. Like, it was the man last stop. And he was like, y'all didn't see y'all stop? It was like, no, we trying to go to Regency. We went the whole other way. So, and this was before cell phones and all that stuff got real good. Talk about scared. Thank God he didn't charge us, but he took us back the other way. But anyways, back to my grandmother, she was like, you have to imagine this before I even get here. She was like, I said, what? Wasn't nothing in her hand. She told me, put this in your hand. I was like, okay. She's like, these are your car keys. I was like, okay. She was like, go to the window and lock your car. Okay, Grandma. I went to the window, doop, doop, the car locked. And I just kept doing that. My mind, my spirit. Lo and behold, I had no idea parents was going to get us a car. I mean, for God's sake, they had 3 daughters. My brother wasn't ready to drive yet. And if they got my sister a car, hell, I needed a car and my other sister needed a car. I didn't know how they was going to do it. I kid you not. My parents were able to take us to the car lot and pick out a car. And I saw this really cheap car because it wasn't about all of that. I think Tinkerbell was it 8,000? My sister will have to verify that with me. I think it was like 8,000. It was used, but only one person had it. And so what? My first car, I just need to get around, beep, beep. Mine was green. It was 3 in a row, green, blue, and white. So we were walking around for a minute, and then I just got in it. And then my sisters got in it. Do you know we drove off that fucking lot with them 3 cars? Shout out to my parents. That's what I'm trying to do. That is what I'm trying to do. I want to be the Lord's will. And I know things do not work out how you plan. But if I have any say in the matter, I would love to have a room for my child set the fuck up. I would love to have money in the bank ready for them to get a car. You know what I mean? Like, I literally want to plan this shit out. I am so bad that for anything to be successful or, you know what I mean? Like, I literally just have to plan. So everything really does happen for a reason. And I know will have children one day, but the plans that I have, I will be able to do them, be the Lord's will. But anyways, for them to be able to do that times 3, and they were cheap, so it was probably the price of a regular car. But still, shout out to the parents again. But just my grandmother giving me that faith, like, you have to imagine it in your mind. You have to manifest it. You have to say, you have to speak it. And then at the right time, it will come. Okay, so next. Then she wants you to, like, do fire breaths where you breathe really, really fast. So she says, how to do fire breaths. With your mouth closed, inhale deeply like a pump through your nostrils and expand the breath down into your abdomen and then back up to expand the chest. Then exhale fully as your abdomen contracts and the lungs release your breath completely. Practice the fire breaths a few times slowly and then do it 50 times as rapidly as you can. Fully inhale and exhale. Now, I could possibly be doing this wrong. I could possibly be doing this wrong, but I just try to do it at least 50 times. And I have been researching like the chakras, and I saw this documentary where like a group of like experts, meditations were breathing really heavy, and I think this is what she's talking about. And at the beginning, like, there was a machine that saw their chakra energy, I guess infrared or whatever, but the screen turned it into the circle and the colors that we're familiar with, but I'm pretty sure it was energy that they were picking up on, aligned, and they were all out aligned in different shapes and sizes. By the time they were done with this heavy breathing, they were aligned and they had grew like bigger. So I just try to go and I just try to do that 50 times. I mean, again, it's the intent. Hey, I'm trying. Okay, and then the next thing she wants you to do is meditate. So I get my crystals off the altar. I put them on my ottoman with my hands underneath, and I lay down on my yoga mat with my blanket. Some people like to meditate sitting up. I can meditate laying down before I go to sleep. Like, I be in my mind a lot before I go to sleep, and I know I'm supposed to be doing this for 2 hours. So I have yet to fall asleep. So I just lay down, and a lot of thoughts come to my mind. I meditate, I pray, I think of affirmations. So that's kind of how I do mine. And then when I'm done with that, I put my crystals back on the altar, and then you have to journal. So I have a journal, and I just journal. Now, when I was younger, I used to journal a lot. I think when I got my cell phone, I kind of stopped. I have a lot of notes in my phone, so it's not really consistent, but I know I still do write. But I'm going to get back to journaling, because we carry around a lot of baggage, and you can just write it out, get it out. You can share it with the world or keep it to yourself. It's completely up to you. But the fact that you can look back and reflect, I think that's what the whole point of journaling is for. Or to release it. Like, some people write stuff down and burn it and release it into the air. Like, you can't just keep carrying all this stuff around like bag lady. Like, release it somehow. Scream, shout, whatever. And I think writing is a real powerful way to do it. But anyway, so you journal. And then you have to drink your tea before 12. So I have to be to work by 12, so I just make sure that it's done by 12. Now, she talk about flower essence, but I don't have that yet. And I'll have to ask my guide, Sharita, about that one. But I don't have the flower essence yet. But she lists different ones that you could use. And I just imagine it's flower aspect that you probably... She says place 4 drops of the recommended incense under your tongue. Okay, so, or a glass of purified water. So I don't think you're supposed to ingest essential oils like that. So maybe this is a safer version of essential oils for your body. And then she gives you like a dietary list to go by of what not to eat. Now, this is the trip part. I have a crab boil coming up this weekend for my friend's birthday. And she says, do not eat clams, oysters, lobsters, or shrimp. They are all brooms that clean up the ocean by gathering the toxins, which you then eat. Hello. Why is there a crab store in every African American community? And we wonder why we have high blood pressure, diabetes, all of this shit. Because we love this toxic food. It's not just the seafood. Like, it's the choices of the food. Anyways, y'all know I'm going to do a vegan post one day. But she says avoid pork, lamb, beef, chicken, MSG. But she says if you are transitioning, then she says eating flesh, eat only baked or steamed fish, and no more than 3 times a week. And again, this is just for the 21 day period. Now, this is like a 9. We are only on gate 0. This goes up to 9 gates. Now, I don't know if my group is going to do the 0 all the way to 9, but I can personally do it on my own and just imagine this is only 0. And I'm pretty sure she's going to have these rules throughout to 9. And they have different time periods. But then she says, as far as starches and carbohydrates, no more than 3 or 4 times a week. The less is better. And then she says abstain from heavy starches, which is my nemesis. Such as sweet potatoes. I don't really do sweet potatoes, but mine will be red potatoes, raw or cooked carrots. I just put some in the crock pot the other day. Corn on the cob. We about to have that with my crab boil, because I don't do the seafood, but I am going to get the corn, the potatoes, and try to make my own Mr. Potato Crab. If you are a native, that is a famous food truck here, and it is so good. And then she said avoid whole grain bread. She said even if it's toasted or dried in the oven. She said make your own bread. You can use powder, sunflower, and pumpkin seeds, or almond and other nuts, and you can grind them down and you can make your own bread, flour and bread. And then she goes over different supplements. And this is what I have not been taking vitamins. I didn't know it's overdue. I should have been doing it. But she mentions spirulina, wheatgrass, blue-green algae, vitamin B, 25 to 50 milligrams, vitamin C, 500 to 1,000 milligrams, vitamin E, 400 milligrams, lecithin, 1 to 2 teaspoons, flaxseed, 1 to 2 tablespoons. And then she talks about doing enemas. So you should have an enema 1 or 3 times weekly for up to 21 days. Now, I don't know about this part. I'm going to have to speak with Miss Sharita. But I do have flax seeds, so I'm going to pick up on my flax seeds. And then she goes over different juices that you could take or whatever. But now that's getting out of the altar and more into health. Like, this book is so long. But research, altar, I'm surprised that as a Christian at church, we were familiar with altar, but we did not have an altar at home. We surely did not. So do you mean the only sacred place that I have for God is your church? Just something to think about. And I know the heart is the altar, of course, but the fact that I was so heavy in church and I didn't even have an altar for that faith that I was in it just baffles me. But maybe this will inspire you to do your own altar. You can follow me on Love Meesh. I just created my own link tree. So that shows like everything. I'm not going to go through a whole list of everything that I am on. So let me just pull that up. A link tree is a little weird, so I just want to make sure I say it right. linktr.ee/LUV.MEESH. So linktree/love.meesh. Again, linktr.ee/LUV.MEESH. So that'll show you all of my stuff, my Facebook, my Instagram, the different podcasts or whatever. But I am going to take a picture of my altar. So I'm very proud of my altar. And I'm not supposed to show it, but I'm not afraid of what I'm doing. I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing. I am proud, and I do want to share it, and maybe it'll inspire someone else. You don't have to share stuff to boast and all this, but a lot of stuff that I've seen has inspired me. So I'm the biggest sharer ever. I share what I learned, and I haven't even mastered it. I'm sharing it. Just learned about it myself. So thank you for listening. I normally try to post on the 7th, 17th, and 27th. But as I start to interview family and friends, it'll probably be a few more here and there, such as today. And I am going to get my butt back in the bed so I can sleep before work. But this is my day 2 of my 21-day fast. And I told you guys that I was going to talk about an altar, and I want to make sure that I kept my word. So talk to you guys later. I love you. Have a better than great day.